two, one.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Lake Highlands Park, where we are watching the Dallas Reds taking on the Cayman Islands men's national team. I'm your host and commentator today, Alex G. Good to have you here. This is a repeat fixture. Dallas and Cayman Islands played each other 2 years ago in a pre-season friendly, a really tight, engaging affair with high-quality rugby on display. Cayman Islands using these games as national warm-ups. They went on 2 years ago to beat Mexico straight after this fixture. In a couple of weeks' time, on Friday the 13th of June, they'll be playing against Bermuda. So keep an eye out for that game. Look for a really fast-paced, high-skill game today. Slightly chop and change side for Dallas, coming off the back of a second-place finish in the Red River Rugby Premiership. A few guys nursing some injuries, taking some time off. So have a look out for a high-scoring, exciting game. We'll be right back with you at Lake Highlands Park. Thank you.
Three, two, one.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Lake Highlands Park, where we are watching the Dallas Reds taking on the Cayman Islands men's national team. I'm your host and commentator today, Alex G. Good to have you here. This is a repeat fixture. Dallas and Cayman Islands played each other 2 years ago in a pre-season friendly, a really tight, engaging affair with high-quality rugby on display. Cayman Islands using these games as national warm-ups. They went on 2 years ago to beat Mexico straight after this fixture. In a couple of weeks' time, on Friday the 13th of June, they'll be playing against Bermuda. So keep an eye out for that game. Look for a really fast-paced, high-skill game today. Slightly chop and change side for Dallas, coming off the back of a second-place finish in the Red River Rugby Premiership. A few guys nursing some injuries, taking some time off. So have a look out for a high-scoring, exciting game. We'll be right back with you at Lake Highlands Park. Thank you.
One, you're on.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Lake Highlands Park. It is a gorgeous day
You're
for
live
some
on the camera now.
international rugby. My name's Alex. I'll be your play-by-play commentator, bringing you through this fascinating clash between the Cayman Islands national team and the Dallas Reds. I'm joined here very ably by my good friend, Mr. Philip Kuipens. Phil, what do you think?
Yeah, mate. Oh, this is going to be awesome. We haven't seen these guys in a few years. If they play anything like they did in 2022, we're going to see some really, really good ball movement, some really skilled play from the Cayman, and we're going to see if that matches out Dallas's signature physicality. It's going to be a really good one today, I think.
Absolutely.
Alex.
Running an eye down the team sheet for the Cayman Islands. A lot of non-native Cayman Islanders who've made their way over there and have naturalised. Lots of South Africans, English, Welsh, Irish, Canadian, all over the shop. It's going to be a really interesting game, a real combination of styles, some very, very capable rugby players on this team. Phil, 2 years ago, Cayman Islands played the Dallas Reds and immediately went and beat Mexico. What do they have next?
Yeah, that's right. They've got a few test matches coming up. I think you were talking to their manager a bit about his thoughts on those games. So what did Rich have to say? I wasn't part of that conversation.
That's okay. They're playing Bermuda on Friday the 13th of June. This is a warm-up game for that. Reds looking really physical. The return of Musawura in the front row, Slater in the second row, the return of the very silky Jake Campy at 12. This should be good. Mr. Pelser about to get us underway.
Go, boy! Let's go, boys! Go, Red!
And we're off. The postseason. Oh, Pipkins, the immediate interception from the kickoff, and he's straight in for the score. I've genuinely never seen anything like it.
Unbelievable. I mean, it seems like every time you see Darian do something amazing, he has to one-up it with something more amazing. Unreal player this guy is.
With the fused neck, the tuba player in high school, out here moving like prime LeBron.
He's something else, man. He's something else. I think in the championship game, he scored 2 tries in about 7 minutes, and that's in a Texas playoff championship match. This guy can play, man.
This guy can play. I'm lost for words, and those that know me, that's a rare thing. Fantastic start for the Reds. Cayman Islands really a little bit of a freak incident. Phil, how, from a coaching perspective, how do you get your head back in this?
I mean, it's kind of your wake up, right? I mean, you're going, all right, we're on now, boys. Like, this isn't just a Baba's tour. We've got a match to play.
Did he make the kick?
Yeah. Kick made 7-0 to the Dallas Reds, and Cayman bring us underway. Campy receives the kick, hands off. Stewart to Pelser, slick hands across the back line. AJ back in after a stint in the twos. Umtato. Pratt gallivanting inside to Umtato. It's a track meet and a forward pass. The call. The Reds showing their hand early. Real ambition from the back rower Pratt.
And that's first scrum for Blair. He's a referee out of Texas. He's done very well for himself. This is not his first test team. He's done quite a few of the Caribbean nations. So this is the first time the Cayman's team, though.
Absolutely. Sizable pack here for the Cayman Islands. Their second row, Richard Hooper from England, the captain today. Interesting setup in the Cayman Islands. A limited number of teams from which they pull these players with fantastic names such as the Buccaneers, the Storm, the Pigs, the Iguanas. Great to see these guys all playing each other all season, taking each other on a regular basis, and then coming together. You couldn't obviously see before the game, but great camaraderie amongst them, real friendship, and that's what rugby brings.
Their team name's taken out of the tourist guidebook.
Exactly. Their fly half here, Mahon, with a dubious nickname, awaiting the ball out. Looks like they're setting up. The winger has come in off the wing, looking like they're going to be playing a lot of moving pieces in not a lot of space against the Dallas centres. A test for Campy, coming back off a year-and-a-half layoff with a knee injury.
Nani as well. He's missed a year with an Achilles, eh?
Exactly, yeah. Free kick. Great tackle from Tatum. Ball moving. There's Mahon. Campy straight into the action, right at the gain line with the tackle. The Reds having a look at the ruck, choose to leave it. Ball flying out here to the hooker. Southway juggles, hangs on. Quick ruck, ball available there. Moving quickly, Mahon feeding. Bounced off the shoulder. The referee says it's a knock on. Stewart saw open space and fancied it. Big scrum coming in for the Reds, with Musawura making his way back to the starting lineup. Real doctor of the scrum there. But honestly, so far, Phil, I don't know what you think. It looks like that experienced front row of the Cayman Islands with McMahon and Stevens propping have been the measures so far.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they were able to draw a free kick on the first one. That'll build some confidence. It'll frustrate the Reds back a little bit. We'll see how the Reds respond here to this.
What sort of infractions, Phil, are leading to a free kick with that scrum?
I think the last time, I mean, there was just some stability issues there. I think the referee thought that the front row of Red was kind of wrenching and
Sure. So the dark arts, perhaps.
Yeah, that's right.
Tatum carries from the base. Pelser dealing with a slightly loose ball. The offload. Fielded again by Tatum, getting another bite of the cherry. Quaco with the kick through. He's flying with him. Tato dribbles. Nudged off the ball. Stewart getting in the mixer there. Eventually tidied up by the scrum half, Green. The call offside. The ball was kicked by the Cayman Islands player. It went forward and was dealt with by a Cayman Islands player in advance of the ball. That is an offside. What do you need, Phil? Naima Tonga feeding into Pratt, who's met by 3 or 4 Cayman defenders very strongly. Naima Tonga fancies another go, rumbles on himself, supported by Olagunju and Tatum. And Cayman Islands making a mess of it, getting over the ball. The referee calling a knock on by the looks of it.
This referee is a bit of a distraction, honestly. Oh, yeah, I bet.
Slightly cagey. Now, I'd say that we can almost take that try off the board at the start of the game, such was its randomness in the flow. What are you seeing so far, Phil? Reds marching upfield a little bit?
Yeah, I think Cayman's going to want to solidify the defense. I think they're letting some gaps up, and that explosive back line from the Reds is taking advantage of. So if I'm the Caymans, I'm going to have to do a lot of work off the ball here, meet these guys before they get some momentum and space to work.
Absolutely. This is a really dangerous Reds backline. Been a couple of injured players coming back in. We mentioned already Campy and Tato. That brings real experience, but also kind of an openness to playing the game. Huge scrum from the Reds, but boring in the call.
Yep, sure is. And again, to your point, it's that experience from the Cayman front row, really knowing how to play the dark arts, if you will.
How
They've
to
gotten
milk
a
these
free
penalties.
kick, a penalty, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was huge. Bought a bunch of
How do
real
they,
estate on.
for those at home, Phil, that don't know what's going on, what does that, I mean, I never got close to a scrum, it's very unseemly. What are they doing there to try and exert that influence?
Yeah, so what they're doing, it's really a game within a game for that front row, right? So they're creating a scenario where there's like a stability, or they'll wrench with the timing, so that the other team comes in early, or collapses, or all that stuff. You don't like to see the collapsing tactics, but
Part of the game.
Yeah.
Caymans, the box kick over from Green. Slightly caught Quaco napping as he retreats. Great box kick there from Green. Quaco choosing inside the 22 to boot it. Fantastic left-footed kick from Quaco there. Makes an awful lot of meterage in not a lot of space. Really well executed.
Really well done, particularly not having much of an angle. That low driving kick was a really smart call in that situation.
Absolutely.
Quite a bit windy here, Alex. It picked up.
It did. The last line out, a little bit of a mess, perhaps as a result of the wind or all these players not playing together. Pratt was there. Ross finishes the tackle, dumps his man ably to the ground. Green having a look. Here goes Mahon. The pop ball So the back rower, Bolger, met really strongly by the red wall. Chris Ross jumps offside, gives away the penalty. Slightly boneheaded play there.
I mean, that's what you see from these international sides, right? They're so experienced, so knowledgeable. You make a little mistake like that, most teams, they get back on side, they just play on. But this guy saw it, made a play immediately while Ross was still offsides, got a penalty. It's going to march him down the field another 20, 30 meters.
Cayman Islands kicking with the wind at the moment, which they'll be trying to use to their advantage. This is a strong wind going as the camera looks left to right.
Toss this. Run all the way across. Go. Run all the way across. All the way across the field. Go. Give it to Chief. Uh-oh.
Coach Russ there showing his audition. What NFL team needs a quarterback? Because there he is.
Cleveland, I believe. They don't
Cleveland.
have enough.
Oh yeah.
Have
They've got the weirdest QB room of all time. Here we go. Third line out in a row. Little bit give and take, bit push and shove here as the teams try and work each other out. Pratt has been threatening to get up into that line out all day, and he finally gets there and makes it stick. Huge collision in the midfield with Olagunju. Olagunju had a fantastic game, Phil. I know you thought this in the playoff final, against the Austin Blacks. Head down running, as they say in American football, behind his pads. Has really had a great end to the season, Olagunju.
Yeah, he's really come up the last couple of years. Spent a lot of time playing twos. Those minutes are really, really valuable for him. But
Absolutely.
He's going to be a nice weapon here for the Reds for several years coming.
Absolutely. Also an international, of course, Olagunju, representing Nigeria, the Black Stallions. A shout out to our Nigerian brothers around the world. We all enjoy jollof rice. Great steal. Stewart feeding Olagunju, often an Omatonga. Little bit high, referee doesn't mind what he sees. He says it's okay. Namatonga eventually wrestled to ground by the industrious back rower Clark. Pelser feeding him Tato, who knocks on. Bit of consternation, bit of disagreement here.
I think you could have made an argument for an intentional knock there on that second one.
I think Tato got away with that a little bit. I don't think our referee Blair saw the second bite of the cherry.
A big Mike for Dallas, also an international, kept for Fiji.
Of course. Another big scrum. Haven't seen signs of rust perhaps for the Reds scrum. The scrum, of course, one of the Dallas Reds' main weapons in the Red River Rugby Premiership. That step up to playing international players, the select side, perhaps showing, with the Reds unable to kind of exert their will at the moment.
And they've also gone for like their massive package, right? Like Big Mike playing 6 instead of blocks. Jalen, who's probably one of the most versatile players they have on their squad, plays a lot of wing playing in number 8.
Absolutely. Musawura and McMahon having a little word with each other, discussing pies, studs, very long studs on their boots, just talk generally.
Yeah, their favorite restaurant in town, no doubt.
The most calories you can consume in one mouthful.
More than us.
Other front rower things. Lot of force in there. These packs probably, God, I dread to think. And referee, a real battle. I'm really enjoying this battle between McMahon and Musawura here on this near side. A real game of chess.
I mean, and this Dallas front row not lacking experience either, right? We've got an international, and then on the other side,
2 internationals.
Yes, and Simba was actually the loose head prop and the man of the match of their last national championship. So you don't see that often. So that's pretty dominant. So really impressive work by the Caymans here.
Yeah, really good. McMahon, a very able match at the moment. Musawura, long bind. All through McMahon. McMahon gets blown to pieces.
Make use of it. They've got a chance. Here goes the wing.
Green, the scrum half, feeds back inside. Dragged down a few metres short of the try line. The captain picks and goes around the edge. Big collision. Referee,
No decision yet.
quick conversation with his touch judges. And Cayman Islands have got in on the board. We didn't see who scored.
I think it was a 9.
Oh, it was the wing.
That was the wing.
Try scored there by Mr. Ryan, aka the Ghost, from Skerries in Ireland. Plays for the Pigs in the Cayman Islands circuit. Difficult kick coming here to add to the score.
Looks like the wind's pushing this kick a bit, but doesn't make it any easier, does it?
It doesn't, no. Well, this will be a real test of Marn's boot here as he steps up, or Mahon.
Hey Phil, you got your folders flying. You want to stash that somewhere for you?
Mahon.
Good strike.
Great strike, just pushed it a little bit left. That was a really, really nice connection. Very cultured boot. Reds are gonna want to watch out for that. There is a sign of ability there from Mahon.
Actually, I think the try score was our number 21. I think it was on the outside.
Reds looking to line up and come for another bite of the cherry here. Great kickoff from Pelser. Green runs out of options, goes vertical. Tatum turns upfield, utilising that slick footwork. Tatum, of course, had a great performance at the LA Sevens, the selection side. And penalty to the Reds, playing advantage there. Cayman's got in over the ball, not rolling away for the tackler is the call.
It's an interesting small world story between red number 4, Johnny Heron, and the Cayman try scorer, Josh Green. They actually played against each other in Canada.
It's a great fact.
Johnny playing in the Toronto area and Greeny playing in Ottawa area. Both rep grade rugby, of course.
It's good to see Irishmen getting around there. Line out. Chris Ross's first bite of the cherry here, throwing in. Pratt goes up. Heron, slick hands to Stewart, who knocks it forward with his foot. That's okay. Pelser
Football.
hit hard. The ball bounces. The referee says we haven't had a knock on yet. Quaco spinning the back rower and follows up with a tackle. Excellent effort play from Clement Quaco, the North London man and Chelsea fan. Green charged down at the breakdown. Pressure. The ball pops to the red side. Pratt going route one. No more of this namby-pamby from Mr. Pratt, and not releasing on the ground the call. This Cayman Islands back row, dangerous combination of Minar, Clark and Bulger, really exerting their influence so far. They're all over every single time the ball hits the ground.
Hey, you can really see that experience showing, right? Cayman drawing a lot of penalties, free kicks. Doing a really good job showing that experience and skill.
That experience, of course, meaning their timing is just impeccable. They're not too early or too late to have a go at the ball on the ground, just arriving at the right time to make their presence felt.
I'm Joe Wood, John's president and vice president. Okay, got it. Can you give me your contact information and all good stuff?
Perfect.
Because he's going to be able to make it today.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Slight delay as we wait for the ball to be returned to the field of play. The hooker, Southway. His shoulders are going to be tired from throwing in so much today. Pratt jumps again. Pratt industrious. Ross found by Green. Here goes Mahon. The chip forward. Quaco, you don't want to give him the ball with a bit of space. He drops it forward. Knock on against the Cayman Islands, the call. Really scrappy game. Both teams trying to work each other out.
Yeah, that far wing getting a lot of work with Clem. And I don't think on that last kick and chase, the Caymans realized really how fast he really is. He was on that ball. They thought they had a bit more time.
It's a different level of pace for some of these guys. Some real athleticism on this, on both sides actually.
Gray shirt, white hat.
Interestingly, the Cayman Islands lining up their centres in the opposite way round, which is something you see a bit more in international rugby, with the 12 being at 13 and 13 at 12 and vice versa. Lurman and Detroit, 12 and 13.
Be interesting to see if this is a reflection of a defensive pattern, if we're going to go with the shut and gate or something.
Yeah, could be. Lurman coming up, tracking. Tato. Pipkins. Trouble. Lurman coming across. Body by Pipkins. Hangs on. Pipkins with the offload. Goes backwards. Pelser thinks he sees a gap. Tracked down eventually by Detroit. Tracking back in the 13 channel. Heron feeding Campy. Slightly questionable boot. How's the bounce? Not ideal for anybody. Eventually finds touch. If Campy managed to get through that ball instead of getting the chip underneath, it could have been a really dangerous kick. The Cayman Islands 12, winger and 15 were really high up. And here we go. Here comes cue ball, Southway. Launches it in, a knock on, and we're back to another scrum. And we return to this scintillating battle between the front rows.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It looks like the Caymans on set piece anyway is playing this up and slide defense. That may be a reason they've switched to 12 and 13 on the set piece, particularly in the scrums I've seen it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very modern way of defending. Don't engage. Let the play develop a little bit before making decisions, and it worked really well there for the Caymans, with Pipkins getting swamped by 2 or 3 players, having to make a scramble play to keep the ball alive.
Got a really expensive education.
Yeah, that's right.
Very solid scrum from the Reds, the best of the bunch so far. They keep driving. They've eked out the penalty. Graham has a go from the back for Pelser. I'm sure he's very delighted. I wasn't Pelser, sorry, I apologise. Penalty to the Reds from that scrum. Reds getting ascendancy there. How do they keep that up?
Yeah, I mean, you can see the Caymans reacting with that scrum starting to move and roll a little bit. But yeah, I think Dallas is going to sniff a bit of dominance in the water now on these scrums. So
Absolutely.
I think they're going to try to really go forward ball so they can avoid these penalties they've been getting early. And I guess that's their adjustment. It seems like a good one thus far.
I suspect that Mr. Wura has, instead of trying to just twist his opposite man into a bunch, has decided just to go through him instead.
As he does.
As he's very capable of doing with that 64-inch chest.
It's nice to have those options, right?
Expensive tailoring, but very effective on the rugby field. Nairmatonga off Mr. Wura.
Speaking of big.
Heron, another 6'10" top shelf reacher. Pratt coming up, calling the ball. Pelser looking to unlock this backline. Campy, options, and Tato. Pace. Pipkins on the outside.
He's got the fan.
Good night,
well.
Vienna. What a score for the Dallas Reds.
You'd be hard pressed to see a better pure ball carrier at a lot of levels than Darian Pipkins.
How do you defend a player like that, Phil? What do you do?
Mate, it's tough. The reality is, like, if you're quick enough to catch him, you're generally not big enough to bring him down.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but the reality is, you have to get in front of him.
Absolutely.
You
Trying to
can't
get close to him,
space.
can't have enough space.
Yeah, you got to play him tight. Once he gets going, he's really difficult.
Hey, are these all beers in a cooler?
No.
We don't have a cooler.
I'm off on a refill this early.
Fantastic score for the Dallas Reds there, with Pelser lining up to add the extras.
Yeah. There's still some of these beers in there.
I brought more than one. Yeah, you gave it up? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If we put some in the little cooler back there.
That wonderfully crisp sound you just heard was, of course, me opening a wonderful 8 Elite Lager.
Did he make that?
Only 3 ingredients, none of the additives. A really delicious light lager, and of course one of the key sponsors of the Dallas Reds. A big shout out to all our sponsors, of course, the law offices of David Sheaves, Christie's Sports Bar and Grill, the best place to watch live sport in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, 8 Elite Lager, and of course pickle juice, keeping us moving at all times.
We'll need it today. It's a really hot day. You'll notice a stoppage in 20 minutes required when it gets over 30 degrees centigrade, which it is today. So the referee's talking about the flow a bit. Both teams in the shade, getting some water.
Teams getting some much needed hydration. Your commentary team getting some much needed hydration in the form of 8 Elite Lager. Of course, only 90 calories a can. And organic. All of the flavor, none of the additives. Phil, what's your sense on this arm wrestle so far? Of course, 12 points to 5 the score. Does that reflect where the game's at?
I mean, it's hard to tell, right? I mean, you can tell that the Caymans showing a lot of experience, especially in the set pieces. Can they keep that up? Is Dallas able to continue to adjust to the referee favoring the Caymans in that, and rightfully so. Now, on the other hand, that Dallas backline is so incredibly explosive. Threats from everywhere on the field, anytime they touch the ball, it seems. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the physicality and individual skill of Dallas continues to match up with the team skill and experience with the Caymans.
It's good stuff. It's also interesting to see the two teams trying to play a slightly different game. The Reds very obviously trying to play that expansive backline game, feed the danger on the wides, with them Tato, Pitkins and Quaco lurking. Whereas the Caymans playing perhaps a slightly more genuinely international style of game, looking for those inside pops off 10 and 12, looking to disrupt in the midfield. It's really interesting to see those two different styles kind of going toe-to-toe here.
Yeah, that's right. I think the Caymans are trying to probe out and create the gaps in space. Dallas has been doing a good job of fanning out, playing it really flat, and Cayman's just looking for it.
Absolutely.
They've got this wind at their back for 20 more minutes. I'd like to see them have a few cracks at the 50-22, really use this wind to their advantage. I don't know if they've been using it as much as they could have in the first half.
Absolutely. One thing the Caymans do need to be aware of, and they only travel with 19 players today, a few injuries, a few unavailabilities. It is a long way from the Cayman Islands to Dallas, Texas. The Reds have a couple of players that have been lent across to the Cayman Islands to fill those numbers. Ahmad Garcia and Gus Siegel being two of them. Big shout out to those guys for stepping up. The question is, those guys perhaps not quite battle tested in the D1 arena. So the Cayman Islands probably wanting to keep this group of players very, very capable on the field for as long as possible.
That's right. And remember, this is a warm-up for their test match, right? So what they're really trying to get out of this is some cohesion, understand where their strengths are, maybe some things they want to work on over the next couple of weeks before they take on that test match.
Absolutely, of course, against Bermuda on Friday the 13th of June.
It'll be good luck for someone.
It'll be good luck for somebody. Hopefully the Cayman Islands. As Mahon gets us back underway. Lovely, lofted nudge. Very deft boot. And Heron is met immediately as he gathers the ball. Does really well to make any yards there with the pressure he was under. Graham hit really, really hard by a combination tackle, including the front rower Stevens. Pelser shapes the kick, steps, sends the second rower Brewer for an absolute donut. It's inside to AJ and Tato, head down. Fantastic work from the Dallas Reds. Hey, we said in the break there, the Reds have been playing a much more expansive out wide game. Here they show, hey, we aren't scared to go through the middle either.
Yeah, I'll notice Reds have made a change at 9 as well. That's Reese coming in. Saw that gap real quick. So Faf ran that hard unders line, exploited the gap. Maybe Caymans are starting to drift just a bit too quick, and Faf was able to step in, exploit it, and then of course had really, really nice support from his back line. Really
high quality finish there. Where that try really came from, Pelser looking and shaping to kick. The danger presented by Pipkins out here on the wide meant that the entire Cayman Islands backline looked for that kick, and as a result they stopped. So unfortunately for Mr. Brewer, the second rower, who's had a great game so far, he committed to the kick, and Pelser saw him move his body and just took that gap. And then obviously great flood through with AJ and then Tato finishing it off as Pelser lines up to make amends for missing the last one. Another bite of the cherry, and he misses wide.
They say it's good to be consistent, but not good to be consistently off.
Have this back line this season.
17 points to 5. The score here in favour of the Dallas Reds. Is that correct?
Yes.
Short kickoff. Danger. Reese takes the aerial route with the fullback Muller making an error. First time I've mentioned his name. Commentator's curse for Muller. I do apologise, mate. Campy leaping for that. Knew it was a play to nothing. Knock on is the call, and it's going to be a scrum for the Dallas Reds. Phil, as a fullback or just a backs player coming up, dealing with those high short kicks with people coming in, what's your mindset?
Get off the ground.
Fear.
Get off the ground.
Survive.
Right. Of course, you can't get hit in the air. So whenever you and I both played in the backs, and the first thing I did was get off the ground.
Get off the ground and pull your legs up.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. You're catching that thing tucked.
You have to. It's a weird one because you almost have to ignore the pressure.
That's right.
And all you can focus on is the ball, and what happens to you happens. If they time it well, hey, good rugby collision. Great scrum from the Reds from both sides. Really solid. Campy out the back to Reese. Feeds out the back to Pelser. And Tato. Pace. Pipkins. Pipkins running the tightrope, slings it inside. Forward pass to goal. Outrageous athleticism from Darian Pipkins as he ran the tightrope down the touchline, falling, slinging the one-handed offload attempt into the centre. What an amazing play, and fantastic defence there from the scrambling Ryan and Muller as they came across to try and cover that explosive play.
Darren Pipkins famously turning down an opportunity to play for the LA MLR team a few years ago.
Just loves the boys too much, Mr. Pipkins. Boys and tubers. Tough spot here for Cayman Islands. You'd expect, being an international team, experienced players, they're not going to mess around. You'd expect maybe a centre crash. It's looking like the 12 there. Luhrmann lining up for the crash straight at Pelser. It's actually taken by the 8, Bolger, aka Gav.
Now they're starting to show exit. Coming off the 9. Yep, there it is.
There it is. Really slick exit play. Doesn't find touch. Naratonga, the danger man. Pipkins running into traffic. The tackle missed by the captain. The ref, we have an issue. Phil will come to you with a call. I think it's going to be shoulder to face.
Yeah, this may be a dangerous play on 24 red.
Naratonga there in the act of trying to play the handoff may have accidentally collected. He's collected the face of the opposition player, and the referee is going to send him for a yellow. Good refereeing from our referee Blair there. That could have been a red, honestly. This being it's an exhibition game. There's no point knocking a team down to 14 men for the entirety of the game. It's unfortunate for Naratonga, who's had a great game so far, but hey, it's part of the game. And that relieves the pressure on the Cayman Islands. They don't quite relieve it though. The ball stays in. Tato looking for pace. Fantastic pass to Quaco. This is not what you want to see as a defensive player out there. Quaco going for a second. Have a look. Second bite of the cherry there at the breakdown. Reese. Oh, the knock on from Graham. The Reds wasting an opportunity. Reds had a let off there, now down to 14 men for the next 9.5 minutes or so. Unusual for a team of the quality of the Cayman Islands to miss touch.
Yeah, this wind is a little deceptive, right? And I think it just kind of got a bit gusty right when he was looking to exit, maybe looking for a little more meters. But also you'll notice Hayden Hill on for Darian Pipkins. So the Cayman Islands get a bit of reprieve from Pipkins off, and the multi-year MLR player and collegiate all-star and recently international player Hayden Hill.
Hill actually making his debut at the Lloyd's Sevens, the insurance industry Sevens last weekend. I spoke to him. He said, "Gosh, these posh boys can move and drink." He said.
Not wrong on both.
Olagunju making way for a little break. Rolling substitutions here for both sides. However, the Cayman Islands electing to remain with that starting 15 for the moment. what's that front row looking like at the moment? We've got Musawura, McQueenie making his way into the game. Of course, the man supported by God in all he does, the pastor McQueenie.
That's right.
Making his introduction to this game.
Yeah, Methodist minister on the Church of Dallas.
And honestly, thoroughly good bloke, just all round.
Fantastic guy.
And looking in great shape.
Yeah.
He's trimmed up a little bit. He's looking big and bulky.
See, I like the way he carries, right? Just straightforward. Typically makes a gain line.
Yeah.
Protects the ball.
Smart, no frills rugby.
Yeah, he runs a lot taller and somehow maintains possession
Yeah.
quite well. So hopefully we haven't given him the commentator's curse.
Interesting one. It might be a problem here with the Dallas Reds scrum down to 6, with a new man coming into the front row against what we know is a very able Cayman Islands. Yeah, the Cayman's getting the initial shove.
There it goes.
The Reds slow it down. The referee says we'll have a reset there. I think we lost some studs.
Well, the Dallas scrum will be getting frustrated too. So then it becomes a test of discipline, right? Like you start getting a little frustrated. You try to do some more things. Next thing you know, you've got more visits to the cheese shop by the referee.
Hey, it could be a shout out, of course, to our referees. Just had a message from Mr. Ross Davies, of course, who runs the referees down here in Texas. The game wouldn't exist without the work that our fantastic refereeing contingent do. Great work there. Over the ball, Pelser not quite getting there. Mahon bumps off Reese, feeds the very classy 13, the Toit, who is hammered by his fellow South African. Pelser, quick ruck. Cayman's moving to the right. Hill making an introduction to the game. Pelser over the ball again, not quite able to get the strike on. Green feeding Mahon, feeding the captain Hooper, who's absolutely melted by a combination of Reds players. Mahon staying alive, looks for the chip through, bounced off a Reds player, hoofed through by Campy. Quaco is flying, can't quite gather the ball, the hands not quite there.
Speed is.
Speed kills, Phil. That's why I wasn't very good when I got here. Mine was gone.
Yeah, two things you can't teach: speed and size. And it seems like Dallas has both.
Yeah. Big shout out there to number 19 making his way onto the field. That is Jake Fierro, who studies, I believe, at Texas A&M. He's home for the summer. He's come down.
UTEP.
What's that?
University of Texas El Paso.
University of Texas El Paso, I'm told. I'm sorry. Sorry to those who went to A&M.
Yeah, that's a bad mistake.
Stick to farming, I don't know. But the great lineup. Big shout out to Jake. Came down, knows he's not going to be here for the 15th season. Came down to play some sevens, of course, with our sevens head coach, Perry Baker. I forgot his name, I'm sorry. That's my bad. Heard that we were playing a bit of 15s. He's come along, joined in. This is his debut for the Reds. Really ambitious young man. Love the way he wants to play the game. As the referee says, it's a penalty to the Cayman Islands. What happened there, Phil?
Again, I just want to say this is just great management from Blair, the referee. He's doing such an outstanding job. And again, you're seeing the experience of the Caymans catching Dallas a bit. And I think they're setting these things up, forcing a lot of these mistakes. And that's just really high level. That's what you see from international players, right?
Yeah.
They're so savvy.
Obviously, you're a qualified ref, Phil, and the way I played the game, you'd think I was, from the opinions I had in the field. Blair running this game really ably for, it's an exhibition game. So some of the decisions he's making, leaning more towards running rugby. He's playing nice, generous advantages, etc. How does that tighten up when you get into, games with something on the line?
Yeah, I mean, of course, he's going to make sure this game is being managed so nothing gets away, people aren't getting away with anything, and certainly so it doesn't fall apart in the second half. I think, to your point, he's managing this game incredibly well. He's calling what needs to be called. He's playing a really nice advantage, encouraging play. Really no complaints at all from refs.
I mean, a great example there. The penalty infringement occurred. He saw that Green took the little chip over. He wanted to see the play shake out. Eventually it didn't. And then come back to play the advantage and play the penalty for the Cayman Islands. Really, really smart, astute refereeing, making it a very exciting game for those lucky enough to be watching.
And that's what you're going to see, right? Nothing worse than you've got an advantage situation, the ref blows it up right away, and then everybody on TV and in the stands is going, oh wow, that could have been something, and the rest kind of like, yeah, probably should have let that play.
Exactly.
I've done that once or twice.
But also very different game this to what you see on TV. You know, no TMOs. The referee has to rely on what he sees, so he doesn't have that backup. So, you know, obviously sometimes just trusting their judgment is a difficult thing to do, especially with players like myself saying "sir." What do you think about that?
Never heard the word "sir" used more sarcastically than when it came out of your mouth, Alex.
Referee. Lovely chip from Mahon. Sees the space. How's the bounce? Not kind to him.
Unlucky bounce.
Oh, really unlucky bounce. And Tato chopped around the ankles.
Should be
Not
first knock
sure.
here, maybe.
Not sure what the call is. Can't quite see. A referee having a quick chat with his touch judge. Touch judge has been really active today. A couple of really good calls. I mean, for example, the yellow to Naramatanga called in from the touch judge here on this near side. How does that interplay work between the touch judges and the referee?
So yeah, the assistant referee usually on the near side of the ball, you'll see them leading in front of the play, especially once we get inside the 22. They're going to look and assist the referee with grounding. Of course, they're always looking for foul play. Looks like a penalty.
Try. It's try given. Looks
try
like Mahon may have gotten through, or somebody grounded the ball as Tato went to kick it. Really good heads-up play. Fantastic work.
Of course, obviously not a penalty try since it wasn't in order. And that's on me.
Thought you were a ref. Told you I was a better ref.
Was a ref. I think
Hey lads!
the more removed,
Lads,
the more
who scored?
is relative.
11.
Try scored there by Conrad Lamprecht. Really good heads-up play there to get the ball down and bring this game a little bit tighter.
Originally from South Africa, they call him the pharmacist.
They call him the pharmacist. We don't wish to delve deeper into the reasons behind that. Perhaps a good man to go and have a beer with, but don't expect to get home till Monday. Score, of course, 17 points to 10, with Mahon lining up for the extras. Beautifully struck kick. And he's just pushed it a little bit wide. He's got a very cultured boot though, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, every one of these strikes have been nice. He's just been pushing him a little bit. Again, the swing deceptive today, hey, Alex?
Absolutely, yeah. Swirling. 17-10 the score here, as we probably wind down to the last couple of minutes of this half. Of course, the one downside, big shout out, of course, to the Dallas Broadcasting crew. Christian Nunez, Jason Octo Rogers, Texas rugby legend, of course now moonlighting in this technical role. As Fierro makes himself known in this game. Great impact from the young man there. Oh! The captain Hooper arriving at pace, seeing a gaggle of red shirts in front of him, decides to leave the ball behind.
Almost got away with the always intentional, not really tip pass.
Yeah. If it works, you're the best player in the world.
It's like when a forward kicks, right, and it works out, you say, that's brilliant. Don't ever
The
do it
only
again.
the only forward on this field with a kicking license is Johnny Heron.
Yeah, we might yet see one of his famous kick and chases.
For those of you that haven't seen it, imagine if a giraffe
That's right.
was on the savannah and tried to chip the ball over
And caught it.
and caught it.
Johnny Heron, however, not a herbivore.
Not. I don't know. Beer is technically made of wheat. Stalking on the touchline here in a very nice pair of tiempos is Morgan Farmer, returning to the Reds after a little leave of absence. Looking forward to seeing some real physicality from the young man, the product of Wales coming onto the field. Of course, the Rugby League International for Wales. Penalty to the Reds. So with 6 man there, that's really powerful. Musawura and McQueenie slow to get up.
Yeah, Morgan's style of play makes it real favorable for the Reds to have a law firm as their primary sponsor. The amount of yellow cards he's collected of this season.
I think he's technically protected by some kind of covenant while on the field.
Right. And here he comes. He's a really exciting player. Very physical, hard runner, hard tackler.
Campy making his way off the field after his inglorious return to the fray. It looks like Farmer and Fierro will be the centres, with Pelser at fly half, Hill on the left wing. AJ hit pretty high there by his opposite man, but keeps the ball moving. Referee calling the penalty. Advantage played. Reese chipped through, gathered by Lehrman. Really well covered by Lehrman there, but the referee obviously playing advantage. But Quaker and Tato flying through, and Lehrman had very little choice.
I mean, that's heads up by Reese, right?
That's-
He saw advantages on.
He knows how quick they are. Heron, big collision. Love to see it. The warhorse of Dallas rugby. His hair as red as his shirt. Pelser feeds. Ross straightens. Offloads. Oh, left behind by Hill. Little bit of inaccuracy in the heat, but offside the call. Little bit difficult situation here with the Cayman Islands backed up on their try line. The Reds not getting the 10 metres they normally get from a penalty, only getting, from my vantage point, 4 or 5 metres perhaps. Tough to execute anything with the defensive line arriving that quickly.
Again, you see, this is the kind of stuff you see in these friendly matches. They're just going to tap it and go on. You know,
Musawara showing he's not just a scrummaging machine. He also relishes a carry. Reese, Pelser, and the try scored by Faf Pelser, getting over on the right side of the field. Really well worked try there by the Reds.
He was due to get through.
Yeah. That try scored there by the players out wide holding their width. Pelser able to dummy, realising the man covering him wasn't quite on the same wavelength as him. Saw half a gap, and that South African intuition said, hey, there's some built on there, let's go for it.
Yeah, and that was really some gentlemanly play by the Dallas team, right? They opted just to tap it on the penalty. No gamesmanship there. Let's just keep playing rugby. You wouldn't see that in a test match. So that's how you can see these friendlies sometimes truly are friendly in nature.
Absolutely.
It's usually what they do is like, oh yeah, get out of the zone.
Could have taken the penalty, could have taken the scrum there from the penalty. Of course, a scrum always available from a penalty. For those at home wondering how the game is officiated. You missed it.
22-10.
22 points to 10. The score as we come into the very, very final moments of this fantastic first half, to be honest. It's been really enjoyable from both sides.
Yeah, and those of you watching at home, stay on during halftime. I think there's going to be a presentation from the Dallas hosts to Richard, the Cayman Island manager. A little sign of appreciation for their visit.
Technically, some of these guys, of course, available for Lions selection. With Finn Smith not having the best day today, could Mahon get a late call-up? He's had a great game so far. Oh, Fierro with his first opportunity to run with the ball, knocks it on. That's frustrating for the young man. And the penalty is the call.
Back to full strength, eh?
Yep.
Both teams back to 15 apiece, with the imperious Naima Tonga making his way back to the field after his yellow card. For those of you looking for an evening plan tonight, these fabulous gentlemen from the Cayman Islands will be making their way to our sponsor bar, Christie's, straight after this game, to have their fill of delicious 8 Elite Lager. Rumours abound of a trip later on to the glorious Red River Dance Hall. And they're going to be boot scooting, bit of two-stepping. It's all on tonight as the Reds interrupt that offensive line out for the Cayman Islands. Really strong work, very deep in their own half, a lot of trouble to deal with. Hill eventually kicks the clearance, well kicked by Hill to get himself out of trouble there. Not sure he was expecting that one. We'll be joined in a moment at the halftime by the manager of the Cayman Islands, Richard Macquarie, who's been a real driving force behind this second meeting between the Dallas Rugby Football Club and the Cayman Islands national team. Allegedly, he doesn't have a good time with TSA, often to be found getting multiply screened. I assume his tax affairs are very, very dubious. Allegedly, the claim coming here that it's because he has a fake leg, I think it's more he's just committing international fraud. But of course, here's the thing: the game of rugby, especially in small nations like the Cayman Islands or in the US, where it's a little bit of a side show, you know, compared to some of the big sports. It takes a few really devoted volunteers to really drive these sports to where they can be. Big shout out, of course, to everyone involved in the Reds, some club legends such as David Dodge, of course, Mr. Kuipens, our previous director of rugby, our president John McAuliffe, our vice president Joe Wood, and of course on the women's side, of course on the men's side as well, not forgetting Mr. Jeff Robertson, of course the president during the national final, and of course then on the other side, on the Cayman Islands side, big shout out to Rich McCurry, the manager, their travelling physio Dwayne McGuinness, who despite the name apparently hates a pint of the black stuff.
We'll meet the Dallas manager, Bill Kruger, who's done a
And
ton
of course,
work
a big shout to Bill Kruger, always there. AJ, wide, tipped, Quaco, the little deviation. Forward pass to call, that's, we'll get TMO on that please sir, no. And that is
first half.
half time. We will be right back with you, joined by the troublesome Macquarie.
We're going to do the presentation and stuff. That's going to get the camera on there.
Okay, well, we on? Okay.
Holding it like it's inflated.
We are joined out here on this field of battle by Cayman Islands manager with the dubious tax situation, Rich, thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate the effort you guys put in. Tell me, what's happening in Cayman Islands rugby?
Thanks, Alec. Well, it's great to be back, first of all. And I have to say, with the current administration, I think, are you trying to get me permanently barred from this country? Or,
My visa status also up in the air.
Yeah. No, great to be back in Dallas. Hospitality as ever, and the team performances as ever. It's a battle out there.
Yeah.
This is probably fair to say one of the toughest matches we play annually, and I get we had a gap last year, but always thoroughly enjoy it here. We're off the back of a great win in Guyana.
Fantastic.
With the national team.
Awesome.
And you guys really helped us prepare well for a win against Mexico the last time we were here, and we have Bermuda coming to Cayman for big game 11 on the 13th of Friday,
Awesome.
the 13th of June.
Fantastic.
So
where can people watch that if they want to keep calling the Cayman Islands?
It'll be live streamed. There's actually quite a lot of adverts on the Cayman Rugby Football Union website already.
Yep.
We get a big crowd, circa 2,000 people coming to Truman Bodden, and we're excited.
Fantastic.
We're also excited about the opportunity of having Dallas coming to Cayman later in the year.
For those of you with a few extra bucks, we are going on tour. You heard it here first, 6th of December?
As I understand it.
Yes, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're joined here by team manager Bill Kruger, who'd like to present this signed match ball.
Yes.
A sign of unity between the sides. And
from our new ball sponsor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much from the FFP Dart national team. We truly appreciate this. We do have some of our own merchandise to give to you guys in the post-match fun and activities. And look, let's hope for a really solid second half. Good to see no injuries at the moment. Everybody's getting through the game well. It's a hot day, but a beautiful day. We're used to the heat, and everybody seems to be enjoying themselves.
Absolutely. I think the vibe on the sideline is fantastic, of course, fueled by 8 Elite Lager.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
it. Thanks for coming. Cheers, guys.
Have a great second
Cheers,
half.
Bill.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bite of the cherry.
Dallas Rugby Football Club. Dallas Rugby Football Club versus the Cayman Islands national team, 22-10 as we arrive into this second half. The wind really announcing itself, potentially just about in favour of the Dallas Reds, but not massively. A few changes.
A few players for Dallas on debut for the match. Jersey Miller making a return from retirement.
Glorious return. And here we go, Mahon. Tatum. Naramattonga making his way back in the field. Oh, the pace is huge. Lerman doing fantastically well to stay with the Fiji international. Quick ball developed, that wind. Reese feeding Farmer, who leaves it behind. Aggressive start to the second half from the Reds, but a lack of accuracy.
But if it was a player, he'd have caught it.
And we have our first scrum. For those of you at home who love scrums, great time to be watching this game. A couple of changes on the side of the Cayman Islands. I need to check the shirt numbers, I apologise. I haven't been given a full list.
you commentating?
Number 23, Lemprecht, making his way onto the field. Loving the pullback hair, looking very slick. Joined here by D2 captain and master of the bread arts, Hervé Dubois.
Ça va, bonjour, bonjour.
Hervé, welcome back. Slightly tough end of the season for you guys. What do you think about this day today?
It's a lovely day to play rugby, and I just arrived, so I don't know what are the teams here, but it's a good gathering for the club.
Absolutely. You're 2 years into being a Red?
That's right.
Yeah. What do you think about the club? You've played obviously around the world. You've got a lot of experience. Right. What do you think about the
I
club?
really think it's one of the best clubs I've ever played for. There is a family spirit here that I find back that I had in the very beginning of my career, quote unquote. And people are awesome here.
Yeah.
It's really the people that makes this club work, because here in the US we lack infrastructures and stuff like that. But it's just those people, the passion that they have from all over the world. We've got some French, some Americans, some Welsh, some English, some you name it. And it makes it work, you know. And
absolutely.
We end up at practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes we are 60, 70. And that's awesome. I was amazed to see that, and it's really the passion here.
Absolutely.
That wins.
Couldn't clip that up. That's the ad. Thank you, Hervé. Merci, monsieur. And while our Frenchman was talking, the Cayman Islands get over to open their account for this second half, making them score 22 to 15.
Certainly inspired by Hervé, our Division II captain, who also had a fantastic run in the playoffs. Losing a really close one right before the regional rounds.
Great start for the Cayman Islands. Obviously, you saw us having a conversation with Rich, of course, a fantastic steward of the game. But off camera, we're just chatting about what they're looking to do, and that's exactly the game plan. Get in there, get aggressive, get fast.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's that international Northern Hemisphere style rugby really that they like to play, right? And particularly in the rainy seasons, it can be quite a Northern Hemisphere type environment down there, just hotter.
Of course, yeah, just hotter. Mahon, wonderfully struck again. But he's missed again. That's a tough day on the boot. Got to say, the style, I'm a bit of a kicking nose. The style with which he strikes the ball is very, very classy. It's just his radar's a little bit off.
He's certainly not lacking range, is he?
No, definitely not. Described as having a siege for a left boot, which I really enjoy.
You were a left-footed kicker. I'm surprised you never asked us to use that.
I was more of a howitzer.
Well done, well done.
Beautiful kick from Pelser, the low raking kick, causing problems for the Cayman Islands. Green, weighing up his options, eventually goes for the spiral bomb. Doesn't make a huge amount of meters on it. The Reds go quick. Reese feeding Heron. Shooing Gu. The swerve beats the man. There's that giraffe. He's off to the races. He's still moving. And the Cayman Islands, unbelievable turnover from the Cayman Islands. The Reds just watching Johnny run. Didn't get in there, and the Cayman Islands showing that intelligence, that quality to turn the ball over. Fantastic steal.
How does a 10-foot tall man get called for holding on? I mean, that present would have been 10
half the
back.
field.
That's right. You noticed that earlier line out. I think the thing you want to see the most is Darian Pipkins throwing the ball in, because that means he's not receiving it.
That's more of a finisher than a creator, Mr. Pipkins.
He's unreal.
Big opportunity for Cayman Islands, who just moments ago looked to be all at sea. And the radar is off on the kicking and the line-out throwing. And the scrum, the call.
Now, interestingly, with the new line-out law, if that line-out's not contested, obviously it has to be a bit straighter than that, but you get a lot more leeway now with that. If as long as it's not contested, the referee will give you a bit of range.
I think that's a really smart law, leading to a bit more speed in the game, letting the players just get on with it. Because here's the thing, okay, the line-out should be straight, no doubt, that's the law of the game. But if the other team don't contest and have no interest in getting anywhere near it, what's the point?
Yeah, just
who cares?
For no reason. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of laws that I really like. The new ones, the 50-22 adds a ton of excitement to the game. That's really a lot of fun.
50-22.
And I also like the goal line dropout. Right, it rewards good play. Where in the past, if the ball was held up in the try zone, it's a 5-meter scrum, which, let's be honest, in most cases just delays the inevitable. But that goal line dropout really rewards good defensive play, and I love to see that.
Heron, a blood sub, of course, rolling substitution, so it doesn't massively matter. Heron, a blood sub. It looks like Pratt has gone on and has made his way to the back row, and they've pushed Naramatonga up to the second row to cover the departed Heron. Very solid scrum from both sides, with Cayman getting the shove on. Miller, beautifully fed. Here goes Pelser, turns Lerman inside out again. Tatum, the quick feet. He absolutely sent Muller flying on the step, and that's a wonderfully taken try by the Dallas Reds, making it 27 points to 15.
And that's the second time Faf's seen those gaps, right? I think Caymans are playing that up and over drift a bit, but I'd like to see him hold that drift, maybe one more step to take away that cutback. It's been him a couple of times, so I think if they adjust that, they'll get another bite of the cherry themselves.
Absolutely. The Cayman Islands version of the Bomb Squad making their way on the field here. A big shout out, of course, to number 19 here, Ross Pistorius, aka Quagga. A little bit of background on the man. He describes himself, self-claimed, as the best scrummager in sevens. A true 20-minute man. He brings energy and work rate to the field, of course, until he runs out of puff. So, looking forward to seeing him getting in the mix here. Making way, number 3, Ronan McMahon. He had a fantastic game, the big number 3. Taking on Musawura at his own game, winning several penalties before Musawura decided to just go straight through him. Real specialist of the dark arts there, McMahon.
Yeah, no light feat, right? Doing that against Simba, that's really impressive. I mean, this Dallas front row, as we mentioned, it's big and experienced. Quite a few caps floating around in that front row.
Absolutely. McMahon, a wonderful kickoff. Puts pressure on, received by Naramatonga, who feeds back to Pipkins. Oh, the shirt was half a size too big. It'd have been gone otherwise. Jackson Slater making his way up. Pipkins loitering, looking for another bite of the cherry, but he doesn't take it. Pelser feeding the ground. Reese, quick ball to Tatum, offloads to Cooper. It's knock on, and it's going to be a scrum to the Cayman Islands. Slightly inglorious introduction to the game there for Jarvis Cooper. Jarvis coming up through the ranks this season. I think started off as a D3 player, played the majority of his game in D2, and made his D1 debut at the end of the season there against the Austin Blacks.
That's right. Really fantastic guy too. Very coachable guy. He's at every single training session. Works very hard at every single training session. Definitely has the best hair of the club.
Ooh, I don't know. I prefer jerseys.
Jersey wearing the 12 jumper and not having any
noticeably devoid. Green standing over his charges. A quick change to the laws this season, with the opposition scrum half no longer able to go past the tunnel. Little chip over. Reese, very smart, very neatly taken mark. Puts the boot back, finds land. That is really experienced. What a kick from Alex Reese as he finds the touch.
50-22. 50-22.
Calls of 50-22, may not have quite made the 22, but it's a big net game for the Dallas Reds either way. Okay.
That was
Alex Reese taking the mark in his own 22, and the net gain being a Dallas Reds line out on the opposition 10. That's really smart work.
He's calling it out.
Yeah, I thought so.
Phil, 50-22 on a mark? It still is a 50-22.
Pelser, Naramatonga at pace, bumps Clark and feeds Cooper, the man off to Australia in the next couple of weeks, taking his opportunities. Could be trouble for the Reds here with the turnover. Nope, Farmer makes sure. Miller feeds it out, the kick, and the penalty for playing the 9 coming in against... Phil, talk to me about that law, playing the 9.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier about some law changes, really designed to speed the game up. That too, I mean, World Rugby's looking at these laws saying, look, are these material, are these effective? Is this doing anything other than slowing the game down?
Yeah.
And the decision is no, and scrums are so technical these days that there's very little to be gained from putting a bunch of pressure on a 9 at the back.
Yeah, exactly. The actual note of the law there being when the ruck is complete essentially and the scrum half comes in to make the play, you can't grab him until he makes a rugby manoeuvre. So lifts the ball, moves his feet, etc. You can't just start grabbing him like the dark old days.
Right. Not all that does it just slows the game down, right? And really, the net effect is typically just another ruck.
Consternation at the line out. Naramatonga, the beneficiary. The call, contact in the air against the Dallas Reds. That's a safety call, keeping the players safe when they are lifted 10 feet in the air. Mann, good kick, well played.
Hey, Tommy, you're good. Drop. It doesn't matter. It just means it's ours.
Yeah, I know.
But not from the kick. No.
Free kick was the call, and therefore it's a line out to the Dallas Rugby Football Club.
Let's go, Jersey.
Quick chat there between student of the game Jackson Slater and our referee Slater. Ross, ready for the line out. Piero, Miller, backwards the call, in trouble. Ross gets there, fighting, absolutely bundled off the ball by Southway. The ball picked up, and it's a penalty against the Dallas Reds for handling on the ground. Inaccuracy from the Reds. Miller was in trouble from the moment that ball left. The line out, Mann choosing to make sure instead of going for the length. And we've got the pleasure of a line out right in front of us. Time to really dig into the dark arts here. Pretorius, the front lifter. Great line out, taken well by the captain, Hooper. Phil, what was that called?
Crossing. Unlucky call. Unlucky.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the right call. Unlucky.
Really well worked there by the Cayman Islands to get that rumbling.
Yeah, and they've been really effective on getting some movement, some mauls going off their lineouts.
I think it's a missed call on Blair. Jackson abandoned the line out. He didn't move side to
Pelser
side.
feeding Farmer. Route 1. Big fend on Mahon. And a penalty for not releasing on the floor against Farmer. Got himself isolated, moved too quickly, and his supporting men didn't go with him.
That's that strong league style running you see from the Welshman.
Of course, get away with it in league. Don't need to support as much. Union, especially against a team as experienced as these Cayman Island guys, you're going to get turned over. Big shout, of course, the return fixture for this 6th of December in the Cayman Islands will be a joint fixture between, of course, these two teams meeting each other again, the men's sides. And here's the exciting thing. The Dallas RFC women will be taking on the women of the Cayman Islands. A really exciting tour for all those who are lucky enough to go on it. I'm happy to be retired, but I'm trying to get myself on there. I could be boot shiner, I could be ball pumper, any other job. I could put the posts up.
You know, Alex, speaking of that Dallas women's team, you and I were fortunate enough to be able to commentate their championship match.
Absolutely.
I mean, talk about a team that has grown leaps and bounds. I mean, 70 players. They've got 3 coaches on staff. Dirk's got some help from David Dodge and Mike Sherb now. And some really, really class athletes. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, both for the men and the women in the Cayman Islands on December 6th, 2025.
Absolutely. Stunning game, that. The Reds, just everything came to a T for them to put together one of the best performances I've genuinely seen anybody in a red shirt of whatever gender you want to be playing the game. It was fantastic, of course, a win over the OKC Mountain Boomers. Hooper rises, takes the tap down. Stewart blows through. Mahone goes, I don't fancy this. Sends it back. Here comes Pipkins. Here comes Pipkins. Here comes Pipkins. Goes for the offload. The knock on coming through against Bulger. Knock on, not the call though. It looks like the referee sees that it came off a boot or a shin, and therefore the kick is into touch, and the Reds are backed up onto their own try line. Tatum making his way from the field after a fantastic game. That footwork for the earlier try, absolutely exquisite. And the AR calling in to the referee that it was in fact a knock on. So it will be a scrum to the Reds. Good work from the refereeing team here, communicating amongst each other, sharing the angles they have.
Yeah, we're fortunate to have some very good refereeing here in Texas. The famous Cat Roach making her way through here.
Famous, infamous.
I mean,
of course, refereed in the women's Six Nations, a fantastic achievement.
And the gold medal final.
And the gold medal final in the Olympics, of course. Fantastic referees down here in Texas, and all of them know that a penalty you can take a scrum. Pelser sees space. Tato. Offside was the call.
Has been named offside.
Tato's going to be yellowed here for a tackle after the whistle's gone. Tato there chasing, head down, perhaps didn't hear the whistle. The referee tried to complete the tackle. He may be getting penalised for that.
They're gonna have the option to take the penalty back or the scrum up. So it'll be interesting to see what Cayman elects.
Quick chat. Captain's coming in.
Talking about their favorite restaurant again, no doubt.
Jackson Slater standing in as captain here. It seems to be a captain, the height requirement is 6'4" or above. It's a very select club. Little tense moment here, a few get players gathering around. Referee holding his own amongst giants there. Looking absolutely outmatched, but he's definitely wielding the power. And the option being given to Hooper. And they choose the offside penalty. A great decision, I think, from Hooper. Great refereeing from Blair. Accepting that perhaps Tato, not a malicious player at all, Tato, accepting that he maybe didn't hear the call, didn't hear the whistle. He's just playing rugby. He's just trying to put in some shots, and he manages to stay on the field.
Formerly known as Potato. Potato.
Tato?
Potato.
No.
In his school days, he was Potato.
The penalty very much advantage Cayman Islands here. Of course, the score 29-15, 2 converted tries down, but this Cayman Islands side have shown they've got quick tries in them, of course, scoring very quickly after the restart. Hooper taking control. They've got advantage for the attempted collapse from Naramatonga. They are on the line, held up. That's great defense from Dallas.
Yeah, but they do
and
have
penalty.
the advantage. Ordinarily, that'd be a goal line drop off for Dallas, but since the Cayman were on advantage, they'll get the penalty, so they will get a
they will get a penalty. Or they could have a scrum if they wanted, but they're not going to.
No, they're not doing
They're going to tap and go because the modern game,
Let's go, Simba!
they have chosen the scrum. So, of course, these two front rows having another bite of the cherry at each other.
I mean, that's good.
Here we go. Big scrum. Dallas defensive scrum. Shoves. Huge tackle from Stewart. Wonderful work from the scrum half. Hooper. Tackle around the legs by Farmer. Great tackle technique from the Reds. Green digs around, feeds Mahon. A little bit of obstruction, but the ref lets it play on. The defender wasn't close enough. Naira Matonga and Kwaku finishing the tackle on Mahon. Muller dragged down under duress behind the play. Referee was playing advantage from the scrum. So a decision to be made here.
Yeah, I think we saw Morgan getting involved in a very aggressive fashion. How was he?
He likes to make that tackle without retreating to the goal line after the scrum.
The call perhaps that the scrum half, this is a new law of course that's coming in the last year, the scrum halves can no longer go past the tunnel of the scrum, aka the halfway line. It used to be they could get right up into the other scrum half's business as he tried to play the ball. Another one of those laws that Phil's mentioned, that looking to up the pace of play of the game, just create more quick ball, create more excitement. The fans have come, of course, to watch the ball moving, to watch expansive rugby, not two diminutive scrum halves having a fight.
That's right. Napoleon and Napoleon had a child and named it Napoleon.
You can't name a pig Napoleon in France. But you try and stop me.
Could be anyone on that farm.
Great position for the Cayman Islands. A really classy backline here that haven't really been let off the chain massively. I like the look of this left-hand setup there with Luhrmann and Lamprecht out on the wing.
This is either going to be an 8-man pick or 15 is going to shoot in on the left. Yep, here we go.
Here comes Mahon working round.
And there's the 15.
Ball. Luhrmann hit hard by Pelser and Kwaku. Really good defence. And Green snipes over a classic scrum half try there to take the score to 29-20. Real period of pressure there for the Cayman Islands that's eventually converted into points. Great sign.
And a yellow card to Pelter.
And a yellow card to Pelser for the high tackle. Came across, got a bit too excited for the blood and guts and forgot to tackle legally.
He'll certainly take this time to think about what he's done.
Or drink a beer.
Is 10 minutes to have a quick sit down on a seat of regret. Have a think about what he's done after receiving a slice of cheddar. Pelser a little bit nonplussed, but that could just be his general demeanour. Offside the call. Tough call, but hey, it is what it is.
Is it legal to be that big and jacked and be a 10?
It makes me unhappy.
Oh, well.
Here we go, Mahon lining up for his fourth shot at goal. Hasn't converted a single one yet. The wind potentially blowing left to right as he looks. So he's going to want to dangle it to the left side. He looks like his aim's a little bit right. He might push this again. No, he gets around it. That is wonderfully struck. And it had the legs, and he gets there to make this a one-score game. Fantastic from Mahon, sticking in the fight and finishing the conversion.
He's a good goal kicker, right? And I happened to overhear this morning that he did forget his kicking tee at home, so maybe he had to adjust to a new tee and prepare for the fine that is certainly coming in court.
I noticed he may have changed his boots at half-time because he also forgot his kicking boots. To be fair though, half the Reds boys have forgotten their catching hands, so...
Just glad Morgan forgot his boxing goal.
Things are getting interesting.
Things getting interesting. Few more shuffles for the Reds with Olagunju, who's had a fantastic game, making his way off the field. Some really manful carries, some excellent scrummage work. Pratt removing his shirt, and off he comes with Heron coming back from his blood sub, significantly more strapped up. Looks like Campy will be returning to the fold as well at centre. Campy, of course, Phil, has had a really tough couple of years with maybe some misdiagnosed ACL tears, some really tough injuries that have kept him out, but he's absolutely stepped up to the plate in order to supporting the club, driving sponsorships, driving kind of activations for the people we work with.
He really has. He's become a huge piece of this club, and seeing him healthy again and playing is really fantastic. It looks like he hasn't really missed anything. Of course, Jake being named man of the tournament at the Bermuda Tens, which is no small feat considering they were all professional teams. I mean, Jake's a really special player. Ani being back, I think this Reds team is going to be pretty impressive this summer on the 7th circuit, particularly with Perry Baker coaching him.
Agreed wholeheartedly. 7th of June, of course, the Dallas RFC are hosting Lone Star Sevens right here at Lake Highlands Park. Come on down for a fantastic day of fast-flowing Elite Sevens, some really good development work, and of course, the return of the Red Rockets to the social scene, looking to continue that unbeaten streak.
Quick shout out to some friends at home. Hez, who is counting the amount of times we say bite of the cherry. Mr. Daniel Drabinski has made a comment or two. And a few others. Thanks very much for being here with us today.
Forgive me for what I'm about to do, Hez. Bite the cherry, 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 bite the cherry. 12 beers, please. Thank you so much.
Annie, we're sorry.
But not really.
For those of you wanting to come hang out with us, we will be at Christie's after this game, enjoying some delicious 8 Elite Lager and, of course, all the trappings of the fantastic hospitality that Christie's have put on. It's been a really great partnership with Christie's so far, hoping to continue that moving into the future. We, of course, thank all of our sponsors, 8 Elite Lager, Christie's, the Lawrences of David Sheaves, the very important mosquito nicks. Are you getting destroyed by mosquitoes? Call them. Get over there, have a chat. And then, of course, when you're dodging mosquitoes, you might get a bit tired, a bit crampy. What should you drink?
Pickle juice.
Of course, joined here by the CEO of Pickle Juice, Mr. Philip Kuipens. Quaco here looking more tape than man, but it seems to be working. He's absolutely flying.
So this could be interesting in these last 20 minutes, right? I mean, the Dallas have been rotating guys. They've got a lot more people dressed. Cayman being a bit short. Let's see if they can hang on. We'll test their fitness here.
Yeah, absolutely. This of course, is the best test for a team looking to go on and win some big games coming up. How it's all well and good coming to these exhibition games, rotating, having a nice time. Obviously, Dallas at the end of the season. Cayman's just kicking off. How deep is their will? Let's test their mettle. Oh my God, Naroa and Tonga. Absolutely bundling the back row of Clark for the second or third time this game. And Pipkins just goes through. How on earth does he do it?
He's had more tries than minutes, it seems like. Darian, it's on his hat trick. And I think he took the second and third quarter off.
He went and had a sit down, thought about playing the tuba, and now he is back. A hat trick in a game after being out for several years, having your vertebrae fused against very, very stiff opponents. Fantastic sign for the quality of Darren Pipkins. The downside, of course, having scored his hat trick, he does have to buy several jugs of 8 Elite Lager for making the rest of us look bad. Tato lining up for the kick, a very, very astute goal kicker. It has been a minute since he kicked in the white hot heater competition.
We talked about Jake making his debut, but Ani, or his return, but Ani coming back is also massive for this club.
Great kick.
Slots it, easy. Ani was out for a year with an Achilles, so to see Jake and Ani coming back around the same time is really, really special for this Dallas Rugby club.
It's really exciting moving forward. We had just a slightly different level of kind of quality amongst those guys. It just shores up a few key positions, a little bit less uncertainty, and allows everybody else to really focus on their jobs, knowing that you've got two 80-minute quality performers.
A few things you need in rugby: 2 teams, a referee, and that thing.
Le ballon.
It seems we forgot that part.
Mahon. Love the way he's dropping his ball in these restarts. Really unpleasant spiral. As Alec is hit hard there by Stevens, aka Ernie. Great to see Stevens there, the starting number 1 for the Cayman Islands, an 80-minute man every game. He's had a really good game, working hard, big hits, absolutely no nonsense, just going around his work. He's had a fantastic game so far. Alec Graham feeling the effects of that hit there. Shout out, of course, to Alec Graham's home club, Ilkley RFC. A few quality players being produced by that side. Very nice kit. The red and black looking very stylish.
And Morgan back in. Morgan's been playing most of his recent rugby in the centres, but he's back to his original position of flanker today.
Phil, it's his coach through the season. Talk me through what that change, why that change made, what that looked like for you.
I mean, Morgan's a phenomenal ball runner, right? And we found that he's just such a threat in open space. He can still come in on aggressive. We were playing a really aggressive sort of blitz gate defense, and having him and Maxime in the midfield for a lot of this season was very, very difficult to defend.
Yeah.
And it was almost impossible to get through.
Yeah, really big hits. Stuart letting Mahon know that he's there. Mr. moving at the pace he can manage.
The lion and the cub.
Exactly. Yeah. Very different skill sets. Rugby a game for all. Mahon finds a very nice touch against the wind. Really well played that. As the Cayman Islands look to... They've had great success actually from the set piece. Of course, their first score in this second half coming straight off the back of a line out, bundling over in numbers. Going quick, well taken by Hooper. Stays up there. The line out sacked. The referee says we're clean, play on, as we wait for Clark to dig around and find the ball at the back. Not Clark, I apologise. That was Bulger, the number 8, who's had a great game. Mentioned him quite a few times. And the penalty against the Reds for not rolling away. Now that is Clark bursting through like a millennial firecracker as he gets the offload away to Brewer, who's also been industrious all day. There, of course, Stevens making more meters as he goes. The ball bounces, plays. 13 making the move. That's the toy. Quick ruck. Clark, this is fantastic rugby from the Cayman Islands. But unfortunately, and the whistle is gone. That was going to be an absolute track meet between Tato and Muller. I was looking forward to that one. That would have been very exciting. The call coming back for the penalty.
You know, Cayman's been really, really effective with this short driving line out.
Yeah.
You don't see a short driving line out very often. I love it because it sets you up for a second phase with the forwards. So if you haven't sucked in all the defenders yet, you can get them on that second crash ball and then open it up for the backs. But that's also going to really help them out playing in their conference in the Caribbean, where you see a lot more kind of wide open sevens style playing. And they've been really dominant, even against this very tall, very big Dallas team. Cayman's lineout's been very good.
It's been very, very good. Very, very sharp. I think they've lost one. That was maybe a bit of a misthrow. Communication-wise, they're looking, especially for a collection of guys brought together from separate clubs. They're really, really well drilled. A big shout to the management team there for the quality of that work. Reset the scrum. Cayman Island backs all collected, looking dangerous as they look for an opportunity.
But yeah, if you look at the scoreline, and it looks like Dallas has been dominating, but really the phase play has been really well balanced. The Cayman Islands have been moving down the field, working the set pieces very well, and it's really just been the big explosive breakaways from Dallas where they've scored a lot of their tries. But Cayman's phase play has been great. Once again, did well to manage that very big. Now they're on advantage.
A mess being made.
I think Morgan might forearm across the face.
Potentially another high contact infraction from Dallas. No comment about who may be the beneficiary. Or the recipient, sorry.
And it looks like Morgan's walking off.
Oh, yep, never mind.
Again, making that transition from league. He gets finds himself caught up in the ball and all stuff a lot, which, league is fine, not union.
Best game in the world, mate. League, God's winter game.
13-15.
13 against 15 here for the Reds. That indiscipline really showing as Clark gets around Tatum, eventually dragged to the ground by Pipkins. The offload inside and the try is scored. Great finish from the number 8, Gavin Bulger. Really making those that advantage numerically pay. Phil, how do you, as a Reds player here, with 2 players down, probably a minute or so left on Pelser's yellow, and then you've got another 9 minutes at 14, how do you manage that from a gameplay perspective?
My philosophy when I'm coaching is never play down in the backs, right? That's really difficult to deal with. So if you have 2 men in, you're going to drop your flankers, and so your 8 will move to 6 on defensive on defensive scrums, 8 on defensive scrums, 6 on attacking scrums. But you typically don't want to play down in the backs. Being down 2 is really tough. And in league matches, in cap matches, that really hurts you because you can't just rotate new guys in from the bench. So not only do you have to weather the storm for 10 minutes,
You've then got a load of guys who are gassed coming out at the end of it.
Because they've had to cover a lot more field, and now you have to play a slide defense whether you want to or not.
Let's have a look. Mahon has adjusted his radar to the different elevation to the Cayman Islands. Let's see if he has a good shot this time. Wonderfully struck again. Love that technique. He's just pushed it to the left. 36 points to 27, a 9-point ball game.
That's it. We'll see how the Caymans take advantage of this. You can't see it on camera, but if you can hear, let's say, Ice Cream Man coming by behind the booth here.
Let's go, Cayman!
Pelser's back on.
Pelser making his way back onto the field. It's 14v15 of a very, very critical player returning to the fold there in the starting fly half. Pelser. Phil, the modern game really rotates around the 10, making decisions, moving the team around. What is the impact of a good 10 on a team?
I mean, you can't speak enough about it, right? We've seen it from Pelser today. He's done it all, right? He's created space for himself, created space for others, find sniping opportunities when they're there.
Whack some people.
Yeah, he's big, strong on defense. And his boot's been really effective.
Absolutely.
Mean, he's a class player.
Immediately gets absolutely smacked by Clark on a clear out. I'm sure he's happy to be back on the field. The ball bouncing in, out, in. Play the whistle, boys. Quaco fighting for his life, assisted by Tatum and Tato. Campy coming in and playing makeshift scrum half. Clark at the bottom of that ruck as well, making a real nuisance himself. Campy says, let's go. Muller, pressure. Good kick from Muller, finding space. And Tato takes it, sends it right back with the fullback gone. Slightly cleft kick, but it's found the land they need. Stewart is flying after this one, but it looks it's going to be gathered there by Tommy Ryan, who's had a slightly quiet second half. Oh, he's moving now. Now we're motoring. A slightly aimless kick there to nobody. Pelser hammers Ryan. The tackle there. Finished. Narai Matonga has a go. Keeps it short.
Do you think anybody bought that dummy from him?
I don't think they did. If they did, they should get a receipt and take it back. Offload. Quaco knock on. The referee says no advantage, and I think the players are saying thank you because I need a little blow. I need a breather here. Bit more rotation with Reese returning to the game.
Coming in the last 10 minutes.
Coming into the last 10 minutes, Pelser making his way after. Pelser going from sitting down on the bench to being in 3 very large-scale collisions in a very short amount of time.
How long was he on?
Can't be more than 3 or 4 minutes. It's a very high minute per collision ratio.
Hey, we've been talking about him too much. It's our fault.
It is off. I blame myself. I'll take the fall. Sorry, Faf.
No shortage of talent at 10 for the Reds. Reese, very, very capable himself.
Yeah. Campy can step in if needed as well. Play a bit of 10.
And 2 really effective fly halves on the second division as well. They're certainly capable of Division 1 rugby.
Big shout out. I know a lot of your work this year, Phil, has been on developing those players. A couple of shout outs to those guys that have come up from D3 to D2, that change in step up. How are you going about developing these players to be ready for that battle?
I mean, look, a lot of credit has to be given to Chris Herzog-Hez, who's been coaching these D2 guys forever. He's got this knack for identifying potential and talent and really grooming it. Now, Javi and the crew on the D3, D4, Timmy Williams, they've done a fantastic job focusing on developing those individual skills. Then when they get to the D2 level, they're focusing more on learning patterns, play and stuff, and a lot of those guys are D1 caliber players.
That's good stuff. Reds, that's a crucial turnover down there in the absolute reddest of red zones for the Cayman Islands. Tommy Ryan got found absolutely at sea after a sloppy pass. Naramatonga here in support, looking dangerous, holding defenders off. Rolled over, the referee calls, held up. It will be a goal line dropout. Inaccuracy there. The Cayman Islands perhaps chasing the score. Way less than 10 minutes to play. Looking to get the win here, 36 points to 27 down. Maybe chance her arm a little bit too much there and let the Reds back in to kind of ice this one out.
Somebody bring that man some pickle juice.
Very hot day here, 92 degrees according to my Apple Watch. Nice breeze, but it is humid. It is very humid. Surprised more players haven't been going down with cramp. Good to see as well. Of course, the man down with cramp there, the starting tight head, Ronan McMahon. Good to see him back on the field. He had a great game. I had a quick catch up with him while he was on the bench. He's been really relishing the opportunity to go up against the Reds front row, and he's absolutely dominated a few guys a few times there.
What's 92 in metric?
30 something. Hot. Might be too hot. Mahan finds Campy, finds Pratt, who says, Route 1! Route 1! Eventually dragged down by the lower man, but that's a fantastic run from Pratt. A big shout out to the Pratt family, of course, big supporters of the Dallas Rugby Football Club. Campy sees opportunity, sees space, makes meters, eventually brought down by the captain, Hooper, aided very ably by Clark, who's finally gotten away from getting bumped by Naramatonga. Naramatonga, dummy, sees space, thinks he sees space, tries the offload, it's too cute. And the call is going to be a knock on. It bounced off a Cayman Islands player forward, and it's going to be a scrum to the Reds, loose from Naramatonga. Perhaps the slightly more sensible thing would be to hold on to the ball, but hey, to quote Ed in centre, if I don't go for a gap that exists, I'm no longer a racing driver.
So you got your microphone on? Yeah. Are these flippers? Chalky or them his feet?
Clock winding down here. The clock on your screen not 100% accurate with the clock. We're probably around under 5 minutes. It can't be far off 2 minutes. There's not been a lot of stoppage time. Tatum, footwork. Tatum stays alive, eventually dragged down by Clark, who's had a great game, Clark. He's been really industrious. Reese, the step. Mahon buys it. Alex Reese, absolutely quality work.
He's also coming back from an injury. He had an unfortunate heel injury right before U.S. Falcons trials. It's a shame he wasn't able to make that trip. I think he would have showed really, really well at that sevens trial.
And the conversion there, making the score 43 to 27. Reese, a stalwart of Texas rugby, a long-time performer for the Austin Huns, a fantastic player for that club. Of course, a great club there in the Red River Rugby Premiership, one of our best, most fun, most loved rivals there. Before moving up to Dallas and joining this club, he slotted straight in, bringing a great attitude, a great ambition, a great ability to the club.
His brother being an MLR player, their legacy, their
He's
dad
dangling the carrot.
Yeah, that's right.
Card is over. 15 players aside. Morgan Farmer coming back on, looking to add another yellow to his extensive tally.
No, Alex, what I'm hearing is there was actually never a card. I think Morgan just assumed he was.
Oh, he just walked off. He's got PTSD. Farmer leaps, hit really well by Stevens, who's had a fantastic game.
I think perhaps
Ball moves. Heron. Could be time for the boot. Could be the boot. Oh my, Campy on the inside, supported by Farmer. Oh, the kick. The boot, off the boot, it's a race. I gotta say, Ryan is very quick. He's not gonna get there. Didn't let him up. Could be trouble. Nope, ref plays on. Farmer gets over, doesn't release on the floor. It's gonna be a penalty to the Cayman Islands. Good refereeing there from Blair, staying really, really calm in a hot moment. Great work by Campy. Farmer chasing out the middle, using those fresh legs after just having a self-enforced 10-minute sit down.
he may have to attend the Cayman Islands court session just for that.
Mahon finds a very nice touch, making good meterage. Game winding down. Seems like from the sidelines here, of course not in the actual heat, the physical heat of battle. Looks like both sides have had a really good day out. Good energy on the sideline here, both teams enjoying themselves. Thank you, of course, to those watching at home. Thank you to those who come down as Heron makes the play. Pratt doesn't know what to do. Eventually has the slowest tackle of all time.
It's like Cayman may have had a hand on
Cayman
us.
making
We're gonna get a call. No.
more inaccuracy, another knock on. It's been a very messy game with handling today from both sides, to be honest, showing. And that is the game. 43 points, 27. Phil, what do you think?
It's a fantastic game. First and foremost, nobody got seriously hurt,
Yeah,
so we're happy
that's
for
the
that.
key thing.
I think, the Cayman Islands, I think they got what they wanted out of this. The score being a bit deceptive because Dallas just had more numbers. Cayman, these last 20 minutes playing with their test match folks, trying to keep those combinations together. But, I think they're gonna do really, really well.
So much.
Thank you
I agree.
very much.
Good luck to the Cayman guys as they move on to their next game against Barbados on the 13th of June. Check them out on social media, check them out on the internet. Go and find Cayman Islands Rugby and go support these fantastic country as they move through into their international season. Best of luck to those guys. From here at Lake Highlands Park, that is a win for the Dallas Reds to cap off the 15 season. Up next, Lone Star Sevens on the 7th of June. Down here, the debut of Perry Baker as the Sevens coach for the Dallas Reds. A great win, and we'll be back with you in the future. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, Alex.
Cheers, Phil.